Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am. Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've listened with great interest today, and here's what I hear you saying. The four folks to my left, I hear you saying that digital assets are different. Digital assets hold great promise. Digital assets need special rules. I agree with that. The obvious question is, what should those rules be, and to what extent should we allow you to draft them? I've also heard some of you say that digital assets represent the next generation of the internet. Well, we let the current generation of the internet draft their own rules, and frankly, it looks like what we got as a result looks like somebody knocked over a urine sample.
Welcome back to American Stronghold, where we stand for the Constitution, common sense, and the American people. If you're tired of the elites running wild in Washington, and if you believe in truth, accountability, and the rule of law, then you're in the right place. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the real issues affecting our country. We bring you the stories that the mainstream media won't touch. Let's get into it. So today I want to talk about the absolutely jaw-dropping Senate hearing involving Senator John Kennedy and a panel of so-called crypto experts, legal scholars, and industry defenders. Now, if you haven't seen this one yet, buckle up because it's a perfect snapshot of how out of touch Washington is with everyday Americans and how cozy some of our elected officials are getting with the crypto lobby.
Congress can't even agree on basic legislation dealing with privacy on the internet. How the hell are we going to tackle this? But I hear what you're saying. I hear Mr. Painter, as usual, if you follow him on social media, you know, all politicians are crooks. Very helpful. I want to direct most of my questions to Professor Massad. Is that how you say your name?
Massad.
Mr. Massad. I'm really worried we're going to get this wrong. We don't know, we in Congress and our staffs don't know as much as the professionals in digital assets know. And I don't see how we can possibly catch up. Tell me more about your idea of having the SEC. Well, first, I don't want to run out of time here, but why is the digital assets industry so scared of being regulated by the SEC?
Well, I think we need to step back, Senator.
Briefly, please.
They don't want everything treated as a security because they don't want that entire framework to apply. But that's also because the SEC did fail to try to customize its rules to adapt for this technology, and it should do that. And you've got leadership at the agencies now who are working on those things.
You're suggesting that we turn to two of our agencies, one of which is the SEC, and say, you have expertise. Before we take a crack at a bill, you come up with a bill, with rules, with regulations. Tell us how to do this. Because I hear you saying in some cases digital assets are commodities. In some cases, they're securities.
Congress needs to fill the gap, which is if it's not a security, who's going to create a regulatory framework for it? So you do need to fill that. But these questions about exactly which is when is it a security, when is it not a security, how do we customize the rules, what should we do about DeFi, a lot of that should really be left to the agencies. You could establish some principles, but I wouldn't write detailed rules.
Have you looked, Professor, at at Congressman Hill's legislation?
I have in detail.
What do you think?
I think it's got a lot of problems. I think it's 236 pages of regulatory arbitrage opportunities for creative lawyers, and I used to be one that did that kind of stuff.
Made a lot of money, did you?
I did, but
Mr. Painter, do you think Senator Gillibrand is a crook?
No, and I do not think all politicians are crooks. And
Why did you call her a crook?
I did not call her a crook. Now, Ms. Senator, you need to
here's
focus
what I'm
on this
looking
bill.
right now.
You're doing this again. You did it the last
published a
hearing.
tweet that
You
said
need to
Senator
read the
Gillibrand's
bill.
role in stablecoin regulation, $217,000 in crypto donations. You tweeted that.
Yes, I
And
do.
then you said, the crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. This won't end well. Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
Do you think they've bought her?
I said, look at the campaign
You said
contributions.
they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter.
you
Last
called
time,
one of my
you were
colleagues a
quoting
crook,
what a Marxist in
and-
Chicago said
And
about
what
me.
evidence do you
make
have
no
that she's a
sense.
crook?
I said there is massive amount of campaign contributions coming into this Congress from the crypto
Do
industry.
you want to apologize
You need,
to Senator Gillibrand?
I do not want you to have to apologize for passing
Do
legislation
you want to
that
apologize
destroys
to
our
Senator
economy.
Gillibrand for calling her
You
a
are
crook?
distorting what I said, just like you did in the last hearing. You're wasting everybody's time, Senator.
You're a whack job.
Senator,
You are a
wasting.
blatantly
Well, I think we are.
next
I
level
think we.
whack job.
I think we
Is
are.
this
at
middle
time.
school, Senator?
Senators and witness. Thank you both.
I
for
think
your
you should
part-
apologize, Senator
I think,
Gillibrand.
Senator, you're wasting our time. This is not middle school.
Thank you for your participation. I will say that Senator Smith is next. The floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So, not so long ago, I
Let me break this down for you, and I'll give my honest opinion as a God-fearing, liberty-loving, tax-paying American patriot. Senator Kennedy, a man who never minces words, opened with a dose of brutal honesty. He acknowledged that digital assets are different. They hold potential, sure. But what we really need are smart, transparent, and enforceable rules that don't leave American consumers and investors at the mercy of billion-dollar crypto firms or legal loopholes so wide you could drive a freight train through them. Kennedy hit the nail on the head when he said that letting the current internet generation regulate itself has been a disaster. He said, and I quote, "It looks like somebody knocked over a urine sample." That's not just colorful language. That's a fact. The internet giants created their own rules, and now we have massive tech monopolies censoring free speech, selling our data, and ducking accountability. And guess what? The crypto industry wants the same free pass. Now here's where things got even more interesting. Kennedy turned to Professor Massett, a former legal expert who spent years in the financial trenches. The question: why is the crypto industry terrified of being regulated by the SEC? Massett admitted it's because they don't want to be treated like securities. That's right, they don't want the rules that apply to traditional finance to apply to them. Why? Because regulation would expose their operations to legal scrutiny. Because if crypto tokens are deemed securities, they'd have to follow the law, something they've been dodging with slick marketing and a smokescreen of innovation. And here's the kicker. Massett says the SEC has failed to adapt its rules. But instead of helping the agency get it right, these crypto firms run crying to Congress to write laws that suit them. Not us. Not small investors. Not American workers. Them. Kennedy presses further. Should Congress hand over its legislative authority to the SEC and say, "You guys figure out"? Massett says yes, but only to an extent. He admits Congress needs to fill the gaps, particularly when it comes to figuring out whether digital assets are commodities, securities, or something in between. That's where he drops another bombshell. The existing legislation, 236 pages of it, sponsored by Congressman Hill, is nothing but a playground for greedy lawyers. Regulatory arbitrage, they call it. I call it legalized corruption. And here's the moment where it went nuclear. Kennedy turned to Richard Painter, another witness, and asked if he thinks Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is a crook. Painter backpedaled like a cornered raccoon, denying it, despite having tweeted that the crypto industry is buying off Congress and the White House, and specifically pointing to Gillibrand's $217,000 in campaign donations from crypto firms. Now, let me ask you folks, if a lobbyist gives a politician hundreds of thousands of dollars, do you think it's for fun? Out of the goodness of their heart? No. They expect favors. They expect influence. That's what Kennedy was getting at, and that's what the crypto elites don't want the American people to notice. Painter tried to act like he was misunderstood. He insisted that he wasn't calling anyone a crook. But Kennedy wasn't having it. He saw through the doublespeak and called it what it was, an industry trying to buy influence while pretending to be victims. And then, like clockwork, the hearing devolved into chaos. Painter called Kennedy a whack job multiple times. It was disgraceful. This is a Senate hearing, not a Twitter thread. But it shows you how much these elites fear exposure. When they're cornered, they lash out. When their lies unravel, they call names. Now here's what I take away from this hearing, and what every American watching should take away. Our leaders are playing catch-up with an industry that doesn't want to play fair. The crypto industry, with all its flashy jargon and celebrity endorsements, is out for one thing: power. And like big tech before them, they want to shape the rules to protect themselves, not us. Senator Kennedy is right. Congress needs to act, but it better act smart. We don't need another bloated, lobbyist-written bill that hands more control to billionaires and international firms. We need simple, strong, enforceable rules that put American values and American consumers first. We need accountability. We need transparency. And we need public servants who don't fold the moment a campaign check shows up. At the end of the day, this is about who runs the country: unelected industry insiders hiding behind crypto buzzwords, or the American people who deserve honest markets and equal protection under the law. That's why we're here on American Stronghold. We shine a light on the truth, not the spin, not the lobbyist talking points, but the truth. If you believe that crypto, like every other financial system, should be held accountable, if you believe our senators shouldn't be shouted down by arrogant witnesses, and if you believe we still have a constitution worth defending, then join us. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Because we the people still have a voice, and it's time we start using it before the swamp swallows us all. Stay strong, stay informed, and as always, God bless America.